Hello, you fucks. Welcome to John Solo's Beard Brigade. I'm John Solo. You are not. Jody and I were talking before the show, and she said that I should call you all whoopee cats. That's a fairly common term and turn of phrase, I guess. So, hello, you whoopee cats. I guess people still say that, right? Anyways, it's Monday. It's a big show. I'm very excited today. We got a couple cool things going on. One, I took the last few days off. I slept. You ever do this? I slept for 12 hours straight, 3 days in a row. At first, I thought that I was dead. It turns out I'm just 45. That's just the way that works. So I slept for 3 days straight. But anyways, I'm back in the game, and today we are working on some Marie Sexton stuff. We have some T.H. Compton coming up in the near future. You know, that little gal that named her child after me. That's right, I'm kind of a big deal. Anyways, it's, you know, one of the coolest things to hear. My guest today, by the way, I've not met my guest before today, and that always makes this fun. Plus, she's over the pond, and I want to ask her some questions about that. I'm going to go ahead and bring her on, and then I'll go through this whole spiel here. So, without any more from me, I give you Colette Davison. Did I say that right? Colette Davison?
Yes.
It's like I'm a voice actor or something. Actually, I'm horrible with words. So, how's everything? How are you over there? Everything good? Whoopee cat?
I've never heard that term before.
Yeah.
That must be an American one.
Well, where it comes from, and actually, I don't. Elton John, of all people, was calling people whoopee cats in a song. So
Really?
that I didn't know. I mean,
He's
I'm a
British.
musician. I mean, you can't be expected to know all the British songwriters and shit. You did get the Beatles though, which is pretty badass. I know nothing about geography at all, but tell me where you are in England.
I'm in Leeds, which is
Ah,
kind of north. It's north of London, which is pretty much all that matters.
actually, I've got
That's awful. No, north of London, south of Scotland,
one of my friends was in London last
in the
week
middle.
for an authors convention of sorts. She's an MM romance author. They have them there
Mhm.
often. I've always wanted to go to London, but I never have. I hear that I don't know, prostitutes get raped there and shit. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. It's the Jack the Ripper deal. You remember we watch
That was
on
that
Net.
was a,
It's a while ago, yeah, sure.
a while ago.
No, we watch. Jody used to watch a lot of these like crime. You watch it on Netflix, like those crime shows where they show you like 15,000 ways a women can be killed. It's not good. It's not. Is that your kind of move? What do you like to watch on Netflix? Do you?
On Netflix. Everything they like to cancel. Pretty much everything I watch they cancel. I'm just death to Netflix series. Um,
That's
yeah,
horrible. What's the last one that you
it
watched?
is. Uh, I've just started watching Winx the Fate Saga, or Fate the Winx Saga, one or the other.
Okay.
Just for some teen drama, because why not? With a bit of supernatural stuff. What's the last thing I watched on Netflix? Don't know. We're watching one on Amazon Prime at the moment,
Yeah,
called
yeah, yeah.
Unforgettable, which is a crime drama, which I'm way out of date on because we're only on season 2, and it was like 10 years ago. But hey.
We have Prime as well. You can find a bunch of different fun stuff on there. I don't watch a whole lot, but I try not to. The crime ones always get me because I don't get sucked into them the way Jody does. A lot of people do. I get it.
Mhm.
Have you ever written a crime book before? Have you ever done that?
Not crime, no. I'm definitely romance.
I get it.
um,
Yeah. Well,
I
the
like watching
crime.
it, but
There's a lot going on.
I think you've got to be always one step ahead of your readers.
Yeah. Well, and there's the whole plotting thing. If I don't know how
Oh, I
writers do
don't
it.
plot.
You don't. So you're a
I
pantser.
don't plot. Yeah, total
Congratulate.
pantser.
Well, tell me the process of you writing a book when you start into the Panzer thing. Do you just get one idea and roll? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, I tend to kind of get the idea of a character or two characters, and how could they get together, and I just tend to go from there. They tend to have something that's going to stand in their way, some kind of obstacle that's going to stand in the way of their happiness, and then just throw them together and see what happens. I think that's the fun part. I've tried planning, but if I plan, it kind of kills the magic.
It,
And
I
and
get
also I
it.
like the characters to kind of talk to me. I sound
Uh,
mad.
well, no. Somebody actually just said as well. They can't wait for the next Kinky Housemates book. Is that one of your series?
Yes, the last book's coming out in March. She hopes. No, it is. It
Congratulations,
is. It
March.
definitely is.
That's only a couple few, and you go through that too. The I know
Yeah.
I'm going to do it by a certain date, but I'm not very good with that either. Not very good with showing up at places on time, that sort of deal. Tell me about the process of writing. How you've been writing this particular series, the Kinky Housemates book, for how long? I'm sorry, I haven't read your
Just
stuff.
over a year. So the
Okay,
first book was released in February last year, but I wrote it the year before.
okay.
So I've been working on the series for 14 months. Um,
That's not. Yeah,
no,
somebody said
longer than that.
if she plans, it kills some magic. That was Mary said that one, which makes perfect sense. This is book 6 coming up, so yeah, you've been at it for a while. Um, are you
Yeah.
doing a? Do you do a main character set in each book in every, or is it just following one couple the entire time?
No, it's 6 different sets of characters, but they all live. At least one main character from every book lives in the same big shared house.
Okay.
Hence why it's called My Kinky Housemate. It's basically a big, huge house set in London with eight kinky housemates in it.
I have to warn you, Colette. For some reason, my mother just showed up in the crowd, so we're gonna have to be extra dirty at this point. I'm sorry about that. Um, are you one of those authors that minds the sex scenes? Do you care when you get into those? Do you enjoy those? Did you come to it to write those? How do you feel about the sex scenes?
Oh, I like writing them. They're fun to write. But I'm the most vanilla person in the world, and yet I write kink. So I do a
There's
lot of
nothing wrong.
research. The research is fun. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, no, I like writing sex scenes. I know some authors don't, and they kind of put them off. But I'm like, no, get me to the sex scenes. I quite like the sex scenes.
I've
They're
seen
fun.
it. Yeah, I've seen it both ways. I've seen some that like put it off to the very end, and I've seen others that will jump into it at the very beginning. That's all they really want to do, and I've seen some in between as well. Um, I have to work
Yeah,
very
I would
linearly.
never.
Go ahead.
I have to work linearly. I would never skip forward just to write a scene that I want to write because I kind of think if I'm doing that, then the stuff between it, what's it doing there? If I don't want
Mm,
to write every scene, what's the point of it, essentially? So I never skip forward. I have to write in order,
mm,
partly because if I don't want to, if I'm not excited about writing a scene, it should, and also because I don't know how. I need to know how the characters are going to grow because I don't plot. I can't go by the end of the book. They're going to be thinking like this. I have to see them grow as I write the book, and characters surprise me quite a lot.
Well, because of the very nature of the pantsing as well, and so many writers that I talk to, I have no idea how y'all do this. So many writers are pantsters, and I'm just like, how would you? There's no way. But I am not a writer. I do not have that gift. Have you listened to your sex scenes in audio form? Have you listened to those yet?
Yes, because I've got a few audiobooks and I had listened
Mm.
to them all, proved them all. I have to say that my narrators make my sex scenes sound better, especially Piers. He is
There's.
amazing at narrating sex scenes.
Are we having him on soon? I think Trace would know. But yeah, I've had some authors tell me I cannot listen to my sex scenes. I have other authors that will tell me that they really look forward to it. There's also a lot, so I always like to check and see where you are on that. Yeah, Pierce Ryman. He was supposed to be on like a month or two back, and the poor guy I had to cancel. So he is coming on very soon, and I will ask him about your sex scenes in particular. It's going to be a lot of. We'll make sure we put that out for the internet to
Should
hear.
ask him about the washing machine. Should ask him about the washing machine sex scene.
The washing machine sexing. Trace, write that down. We got to ask Pierce about the washing machine sex. Wow, that's gonna be fun. And how long have you been doing this now?
Um, 5 years. No, we're coming up on 6 years in about March. God, that's scary. That's really scary. Yeah,
It's
nearly 6 years since I published my first book.
time flies, man.
It does. It's
Congratulations.
very scary. Like 30 odd books later.
Do you ever feel like you've gotten past the imposter syndrome? Have you figured out how to do that yet?
No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, no. I battle that constantly. Yeah, no. I think I'll
Yeah.
always battle imposter syndrome. I can't speak. Imposter syndrome, sadly.
I the same deal here. Yeah, you feel like even on like a show you had expressed to me earlier before you came on that you were a little bit nervous. And even like coming
hmm
onto something like this, like when I started freaking out. I went on to a couple different podcasts in the beginning, and I was not very, I was I couldn't get my breath, and just like I don't fit in. I'm not. Yeah, yeah. It happens every day to me now. I was asking you because I was wondering if you had a secret, some way to get around that sort of thing.
No.
Yeah, that's
If somebody has a secret, please let me know because yeah, it's crippling at times. As hope you don't know, but I think you probably do. It's just yeah, it's not fun when it kind of
absolutely.
bites.
Yep, I go through the same thing constantly, and you're second guessing yourself. If you had to tell a reader, like, "Hey, I'm a newer author, or I've got this many series out," or where would you tell them to start with your stuff? What series would you recommend?
That's such a hard question because it kind of depends on what people like. So I have my angsty no kink series, which is the Heaven and Hell Club stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I've got obviously the kinky books. I've got, I mean, obviously the My Kinky Housemate series is my longest one. But equally, I've got the Cuffed books, which are all standalone, mostly standalones. I've got the Alphabet of Desire, which was really fun to write because I wrote a trilogy, but in order. So I didn't write it as book one, book two, book three. It was written as one long thing and then split out.
Hmm.
um, so it just depends on what people enjoy. Because I know not all my readers like kink, for example. I've got
Let's
sports romances.
knowing my listeners. Let's start there. No, no,
With
knowing my
kink,
people,
start with kink.
knowing my people. Actually, Trace is saying you've got some daddy books as well. Let's start there. What are the daddy
hmm
books?
They're mostly the cuffed books. So, Dear Daddy, Please Hold Us, which was the first one, which is MMM. Actually, that one's set in America.
Like,
British characters mostly, but it's set in America. It's set in New York. And then what else was there in that series? Greeking Out. Obviously, it's a multi-author series. We've done 5 rounds of it, so 3 Christmases and 2 summers. So my books are one of what? Well, I just hit my watch. Um, a few of several with lots and lots of other authors, and they're all kind of cracking. So once you dip into mine, you can then or dip into everybody else's in the series.
well, this set the crowd off, and they're giving recommendations for anybody that sees this on where they can start and what they can check out, which is fucking awesome. I love my crowd, and
What
apparently
do
they
they
like you
say?
too. Well, they're. Let's see here. Several Daddy's book. I'm gonna need to read those and alphabet things too. The Heaven and Hell Club books are fabulous. Silver Fox for Christmas. A Boy Made of
Oh yeah,
Sunshine.
that.
Um, yeah, yeah. Other people are making
Yes.
lists. Yeah, yeah. It's going down here, which is awesome. Well,
Yeah, the
it
Silver
sounds like
Fox for Kinkmas was my last one.
okay.
Sorry.
No, no, no. You're fine. I told you. See, I try and the crowd knows. Trust me, the crowd knows that I'm horrible about talking over people. I'm not very good at that sort of thing. That being said, I decided to do something different. Okay. I don't normally do this, but I have this. And what I have are silly questions that I would like for you to answer. It should be
hmm
relatively simple and easy. Some of them are normal, and then some occasionally they go off the side of normal, so they're not. We're going to start with easy ones, okay? The easy ones.
Okay.
These are basic. Describe your perfect day.
Ooh, a lay-in. Getting a lay-in. I never get a lay-in. Ever, ever, ever. Um, I have a autistic son who wakes up at 7 a.m. every morning, like clockwork, and a husband who does not do mornings. So I'm always the one that gets up. Perfect day would start with a lay-in.
I don't blame you one bit, man. I told you, well, and I was bragging earlier about the 12 hours of sleep for like 3 nights straight. Thank you, Trace. My lovely TNA said that means sleeping in, John. Thank you very much. I can kind of speak British, kind of, sort of. The perfect day always like when you have a child, it's like 18 years of that. There is no It's you're never and you're always tired. Yeah, yeah, I get it. That sounds awesome. Um, what's the biggest mistake you've made in your writing career?
um, Not writing to market, probably. I do sometimes, but a lot of the time I just write what's in my heart. And like my favorite book that I've ever written is in no way to market. Nobody cares, but it's still my favorite book. So I
That's such a great answer.
won't say it was.
It really is. I know, as you can imagine, I've met a lot of authors, and you got to pay your bills. I get it. I understand entirely, but
Mhm.
so often you're so busy doing that you don't get a chance to do the thing that you actually enjoy doing in the first place. So that's a great
Yeah.
answer. Good job. Several people asked, and I knew this was coming. Thank you guys for prompting me. What's the book? What's the book that you wrote that you really loved, and a lot of people haven't really noticed yet?
Um, don't hold back. It's my second gymnastics romance. It's just yeah, my favorite book I've ever written. Ryder is the main character. Is just such a special character, and the book writing it meant so much to me. And I love it to pieces.
And
But it just is.
what's the characteristics of Ryder that you really liked a lot?
um, he's a elite gymnast. Obviously, it's a gymnast romance. He's got an eating disorder. But he's like the bravest, most sunshiny character I've ever written. Despite that, he kind of he's just really gutsy and open-hearted and caring, and even when the other main character kind of tries to push him away and is a total grump, he's just there for him, and he helps bring out the best in other people and things. I don't know, he's the kind of person that I would want around me to lift me up and be
That's such
there
a great
for me. I
answer.
think I'm
Well,
babbling, I'm so sorry.
no, 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 no. You're doing great. I really enjoy actually kind of the view in, so I can see some of the characteristics that you really enjoyed writing. How long had that been? How long had that been? That character in that story been kind of floating around in your head? How long had you had it before you started it?
Ages. So there was over a year between the two gymnastics books. I knew that I had to be in the right frame of mind to do justice to that character. Obviously, I had to do the research, I had to have sensitivity readers and things, but more importantly, I just had to be in the right mindset to write that character and that book.
Hmm.
Um, and that took quite a long time after, because the first book in that series is also quite heavy. It deals with a character who's got severe anxiety and things, and has panic attacks. So they're both emotionally taxing to write, but at the same time, I just found so much joy when I did sit down to write Ryder and his story, and Garrett's story too. Can't forget Garrett. That it just, it was just a wonderful experience from start to finish. I just smiled the whole way through it. I really enjoyed it. The words flowed. Um, yeah, it's
No, no,
just one of
no.
those books that is always going to have a really, really special place in my heart.
I could listen to you and watch you express what you just said about 1,000 times over. You were so animated, and so like you can tell that's bringing out joy in you, which is absolutely fantastic. I love it. Um, I've been in those situations before where I've had something that I really want to express this emotion in a character. I really want to do this, and I'm so scared that I'm going to fuck it up that I stay away from it for a little while. I'm just like, I
Mm,
see you, I recognize you, I know you for what you are, and I really want to do you, but let me work up to that one, you know? And I give it a little bit
you
of
need to
time.
wait.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in my profession, I found myself sometimes in those instances, I will start out a story, I will record, I'll work for 2 or 3 days sometimes, then stop myself and say, that's not quite it. Let's go back. I'll do it again. I'll trash that work and I'll go back and have you ever done like trashed a few just, this is not the one. Nope.
Yes. I trashed 50,000 words of my last Kinky Housemate book.
Oh my God. That's a lot
It
of
wasn't
work.
working. It wasn't. It is a lot of work. It was a ridiculous amount of work. I have managed to work some of it back in, but I basically just had to start over from scratch because it wasn't going where I wanted it to go. It wasn't the emotional level wasn't there. There was too much sex. There is such a thing, I know. But yeah, so hopefully it'll be a better book for it. I really hope so because 50,000 words is a lot of words to just throw out the window. Um, but yeah, that's
No,
that's that's the biggest time I've done it. I have not thrown away that many words before. But
that sinking feeling in your gut when you realize this is what you got to
mm,
do. There's like
yeah,
I've been talking to my wife at the end of, and I'm just like, it's fucking sucks. I'm gonna have to redo like 3 days, 4 days worth. I'm gonna lose all that, which is pales in comparison, by the way, to what you just described. What you just described, 50, I don't know how long does it take you to write 50,000 words? Is that like 3 weeks? Is that a month? Is it?
it depends on how fast it's flowing, and that I can write 50,000 words in a month, or sometimes that'll take me 3 months. It just depends on how fast it's flowing. In this case, it wasn't flowing. I knew it wasn't working. I could feel it in my heart. I was just like, no, I don't want to trash 50,000 words. But I just got to the point where I wasn't enjoying it because I knew I wasn't doing the characters justice and I knew it wasn't working. And I just had to go,
That
nope, enough's enough.
yep.
It goes.
That sinking feeling. That oh my god, I'm gonna have to do it. Like
Yeah.
I've been talking to Jody. I'm like, look, here's the deal. Like I put out something that I'm not as proud of, or I make the money, and and you can't make that deal with the devil. You got to go back and redo it. It is what it
Yeah.
is. That's a
And
lot of fucking work.
if I'm not happy, I expect my readers to enjoy it ultimately. So
Mm-hmm. Exactly. What's the last good book not in the genre that you read?
not in the genre. Oh heck.
I know. I love this question.
Actually, it was a non-fiction book on being a parent of autistic children.
There you go.
Really short book. It's a fairly new release. I would have to look it up to tell you who wrote it because I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's very specifically aimed at British parents and about the difficulties of parenting an autistic child with the support or rather lack thereof that we get here. And
Mm-hmm.
how we need to kind of stand up for our kids and not a lot of and not let them essentially get behavior modified on us um to fit in, because that
I
tends to be the kind of thing with learning difficulties in general, but autism especially, is that the kids have got to somehow fit in even though they don't.
no.
Square peg round hole and all that. So
That
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 was interesting and thought provoking.
yeah. Well, and how do you find the time, girl? I mean, how do you find the time to write and to take care of? I had one child. One. I'm a slow learner, but I didn't do it twice. But you have one in autistic. That's a lot. Is what I guess I'm trying to say. How do you find? When do you write? Do you write in the evenings after the child goes to bed? How do you do
um
it?
I write when he's at school mostly.
Okay.
So he's 7, nearly 8. Why did I have to think about that? He's 7, nearly 8. So I can write when
Welcome
he's
to
at school
parenthood.
generally. Um, I am fortunate that I get to stay at home. So partly because when he first went into school, it was obvious that he couldn't last full days and things, and we had
Mm-hmm.
a huge amount of time of him being 2 hours and 3 hours and half a day. And he is full time now. This is he's in year 3 now,
Mm-hmm.
um, so that means he's in his 4th year in the British schooling system. Um,
Well,
and
Trace just said
but if you had
her mom fought that for like 40 years. Well, like 40 years ago. Sorry. Her vision is bad. I don't know if you know this about Trace, my lovely
Mhm.
TNA. They wanted her in a special school. Her mother wouldn't hear of it, and fought against it too. So it's not just over there, but man, you're like fighting the fight. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? I will always be his advocate, always be his champion.
Well, yeah, you're a mom. I wouldn't want to fuck with you.
And to
This
be
one's
fair, his
fun.
school is amazing. So sorry.
It's all right, dude. I told you. It's my fault, you see. I talk. That's what I do. So, what's the best money you ever spent as a writer?
On my PA, the lovely Leanne.
Oh my God.
She is, yeah, she saves me so much time. And more than that, she's become a huge friend. She's become one of my kind of best friends, and we talk constantly, and she puts up with me when I'm like, I can't write. All this imposter syndrome, I can't write anymore. So yeah, the money that I spend on paying my lovely PA.
Mine has become an incredibly good friend, but more than that, she's also the one where I'm just like, I can't today, no. And she's like, well, you're cool. She's always the smiley one that gives me the, she's always happy. It's amazing. I don't think she gets in bad moods. I'm not sure how that works. But that's a fantastic answer. There's like my world before I had, my lovely TNA in my life, and there's the world after. There's substantial difference. Um, Now, does your PA do social media? Do they take care of that?
She does things like my arcs, and she does promo posting for me, and does some of the kind of more scheduled posts in my group and things.
Mm-hmm.
I still handle a lot of the social media, just because I feel it needs to come from me. I
Mm-hmm.
think, I don't know. I mean, she could write posts from me, but it wouldn't be from me. So I handle the social media generally, um,
It's
and
cool
I
how
make all my
like
graphics because.
people like blend, like like you are you've worked out your relationship with your PA,
Mm.
which is fan freaking tastic. Do they tell you if your books suck?
Yes. She's one of my alpha readers, so she reads
That's
them before
excellent.
anybody else, and she will definitely go, no, this doesn't work.
That
So
is, yeah. You need somebody that's honest with you that'll say yes or no. Um, one last one here. These are actually kind of working. I might use these. As I've been doing this show for so long, I've done it like 1,000 different ways, and people are always like, "What questions are you going to ask?" There, I don't have any questions. I really don't. But occasionally, how many hours a day do you write?
uh how long is a piece of string? So in theory, I have between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. No, 9 a.m. and 2:30. I've got to actually get in the car and pick my little one up. Do I write all that time? No. um, my husband's been working from home time since the pandemic, so he likes to take lunch breaks, and when he takes a lunch break, he wants me to take a lunch break. So, that's fun. No, it is fun. And yeah, I try to sit down and write, and sometimes if the words are flowing, I will sit and I'll write, and I will write and I'll write, and I'll get 4 or 5 hours of writing in a day. And then other times it'll be a couple of hours, and I'll do some admin and I'll tidy, because procrastination for the win. I'm learning how to ice skate at the moment as well, so trying to go ice skating during
Wait,
the
wait,
week
stop.
without the kids at least
I
once.
have questions. I'm sorry. You're learning how to ice skate? That's awesome.
Yes, it's going very
I've
slowly.
Dude, I've never ice skated in my life. How do you learn? Where do you go? What do you do? Tell me all about it.
So we've finally got an ice rink, which opened just before the pandemic. Poor people, but we finally got an ice rink. So we started at the end of last year. They do lessons, like group lessons, on a Sunday morning. Um, so my husband can already skate, but it was originally me and both my kids started learning, but my oldest has quit, so it's me and my little one. Um, and we've been stuck in level one for nearly 10 weeks, no, 14 weeks.
But are you having fun? It sounds
But
like you're having fun, right?
yes,
It's-
yes. I mean, I get frustrated with myself. I do have these moments of, I'm just getting worse. I'm not getting any better. But no, I am getting better. It's just very slow because I'm scared. I'm scared of falling. I've picked like the hardest sport in the world, and a sport where you're really likely to fall over.
That's very true.
um,
I
it is, but it's something I've always wanted to do, and I'm kind of making this my year of the things that I wanted to do. So I'm learning how to ice skate, and I'm trying to learn Japanese
in
because,
Japanese too. Jesus Christ, you gotta.
because
Well,
I don't do easy things ever.
yeah, I get it in time. Well, I have a friend that speaks Japanese, and she's really good at it, and I no, I don't. So you are. I picture this out. Are you like in an outdoor skating rink, or is it like an indoor kind of thing?
No, it's an indoor skating rink. We
Indoor.
get an outdoor skating rink every Christmas, but it's tiny and always really packed. But no,
Okay.
we've got an indoor skating rink. Um,
I
and
would
for the
totally.
Brits in the audience,
Yeah.
if there's any Brits there that
We have them all. Yeah, we got a lot of them. Dude. There's people from all over the world that watch this. It's amazing. It's way cool. When you think about it for a second, you're like, I'm sitting in my small little tiny hole in the wall here in Columbus, Ohio, and there's like people. You're in Britain, and there's people all over. It's pretty amazing. It's a lot of fun. Lotta, she's in Sweden, and she says it's part of school there, learning to ice skate. You learn to ice skate in
wow.
school. Not us.
So
We had a
that's why
football
my
team.
oldest is doing it.
Really?
My oldest is, yeah, that's why we started doing the lessons because my oldest started doing it through school. They do this subject called resilience, where they
Okay.
basically have to do so they had to sign up to an activity for the entire year to build resilience, and they were hating the ice skating. So I said, well, why don't we start doing lessons? That might give you some confidence, but then quit.
Dude, that's
So they're still doing it
awesome.
through school, but
I wish our schools taught
um,
resilience around here. Somebody else said, John, you're in Sweden. It's called survival in Sweden. Wow, which is probably pretty close to.
probably
Um,
true.
but yeah, anyways, you have been absolutely wonderful. Thank you for coming on. I do appreciate this.
Thank you for having me.
Yep, I've missed a shit ton of comments along the way because I was like trying to concentrate on having you on the show. So if you would, if you have the time and then you're in our group, you could pop in and answer some of the questions I missed. That'd be wonderful. Other than that, this is the easy part. All you got to do is wave bye to the camera. There you go. See y'all later.
Bye.
Have fun.
Thank
See you
you.
on tomorrow. Oh wait, tomorrow night we are. Tracy will tell you in the comments. We are in. They just changed the name of the group. It used to be MM Paranormal and Fantasy, but me and Kurt Graves are doing a reading over there tomorrow night. We'll put it up in the group tonight. Have fun. Love y'all. See you. Peace out.